Well, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. It's time for some championship basketball from the MAC. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Monroe Mustangs Sports Network. I'm Ben Smith on the call for the championship game of the NCJAA East District Tournament. Folks, I spoke about this on Thursday. This is a chance for the big one. You win today, you go on to a chance to go for the big one in the NCJAA National Tournament in March Madness starting on March 22nd. Win or go home. It's at that point of the year now where common kids get the chance to accomplish uncommon deeds. Taking a look at the situation we find ourselves in. Thursday, we were here for it. We had a close matchup between the Allegheny Trojans and the Baltimore City Panthers. The Trojans got up early. The Panthers fought back within two after a 20-point deficit, but then Allegheny was able to get back control and hold on. And then Hagerstown Hawks put on a clinic, putting on a high lead, and then maintaining it for the most part over the Harford Fighting Owls. And then that moved on to yesterday, where the Monroe Mustangs managed to pull off a astounding win over Allegheny, 96-59 in a dominant performance, and that was followed up before that with an absolute barn burner. Both games being called by my good buddy Mike McGinnis yesterday, and for Mike, he had a barn burner in the Harcum Bears versus Hagerstown game. These two teams very familiar with each other and have both pulled off wins against each other during the course of the season. And in the case of Harcum, they came out only by 2 points, with Mason Sword tried to force a closing seconds shot at the buzzer to send it into OT potentially, and just came up short with it. And that was what caused Harcum to be able to hang on and pull through with it in what was a bare-knuckle brawl back and forth contest. So now let's swing over to taking a look at our two teams here. They both got the bye. They both only are going to have to play 2 games total coming into counting today's game. But the Monroe Mustangs and the Harcum Bears. Let's take a look first at the Bears, how they got here. 22-6 on the season. They got a lot going. They had a stellar season so far. Looking down through the list, they suffered one of their losses was against Hagerstown at Hagerstown, and that helped set up for this crazy contest they had. Back on the 18th, though, they beat them Hagerstown at their place. As far as facing off, and I look down through the list here of the teams they've played on their schedule. When they came here to play at Monroe on the 25th, they actually were able to beat Monroe 86-69 in that contest, and that was a big one. And that's one we'll have to keep we will probably have to look back on with reference. It was back on the 25th. Yeah, back on the 25th of January, excuse me. And with that, folks, we're at the buzzer in time for the opening ceremonies, and I turn downstairs to my good buddy John Ewan on the public address with today's opening ceremonies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Monroe Athletic Complex for the championship game of the 2025 East District Tournament, featuring the second-seeded Bears from Harcum College and your number 1 seed, the Monroe University Mustangs. The NJCAA promotes good sportsmanship by its student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or spectators will not be tolerated in our grounds for removal from the site of competition. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now for tonight's starting lineups, first to the Bears from Harcum College. A 6'1" sophomore guard from Baltimore, Maryland, number 5, Nick Jones. A 6'5" freshman guard from Warminster, Pennsylvania, number 11, Basil Laster. A 6'8" sophomore forward from New Zealand, number 13, Corey Lavelle. A 6'8" sophomore forward from Sweden, number 23, Ademar de Oliveira Santos. And a 6'11" sophomore center from Nigeria, number 24, Cyril Obasogi. The Bears are coached by John Paul. He's assisted by Cornelius Vines and David Butts. And now the starting lineup for your Monroe University Mustangs. A 6'3" freshman guard from the Bronx, New York, number 0, Eric Mahia. A 6'3" sophomore guard from Atlanta, Georgia, number 4, Jordan Sanders. A 6'4" sophomore guard from Queens, New York, number 10, Ryan Williams Jr. A 6'9" freshman forward from Queens, New York, number 33, Keith Von Palm. And a 6'7" sophomore forward from Providence, Rhode Island, number 21, Trey Washington. The Mustangs are coached by Jeff Brustad. He's assisted by Patrick Dame, Josie Reyes, and Ernie D'Angelo.
And that was John Ewan, ladies and gentlemen, with the opening ceremonies for today's contest. Ben Smith live on the call from you from the Mustang Sports Network. And we were talking before the opening ceremonies, looking over at the Mustang side of things. 24-7 overall, coming into this on a 7-game winning streak, and they are 15-2 at home. But one of those losses at home was to none other than the team you see before you, the Harcum Bears. They lost to them 69-86 in that contest. Harcum was led by Basil Laster with 19 points and Dorian Nick Jones with 19. Cyril Obasogi with 14 points, Zion Lott with 13, and Ademar de Oliveira Santos with 11. On the Monroe side, Hassan Washington with 19 points, Jordan Sanders 16, and Eric Meja with 14 points. So now swinging over to center court. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen. And big scramble for the ball after the tip-off, and it's going to go in the Mustangs' favor. Quick jump shot, and that's going to be a two-pointer just inside the three-point line for Kefang Pang from Queens, New York. Starting off with some lightning strike from this very tall and very athletic Mustangs team, but the Harcum Bears are also looking very athletic themselves. They got speed and they have some agility, a lot of talent on this team. Got a lot of depth from players averaging double digits per game. Oh, a little bit of lossing on the footing there, and that's going to go in Monroe's favor as the ball gets picked up by Ryan Williams Jr. Williams Jr. over to Mejia, and now over to the point to Sanders. Sanders from 3. Oh, and he sinks it. Jordan Sanders with the big three-pointer, and Monroe suddenly finds themselves up 5-0 to start this contest. Harcum Bears looking to set up a response. Protection on the inside, 3-2 zone defense being played by the Mustangs. And they go for an outside 3, doesn't go through. Rebound shot, though, doesn't go through either for Cyril Obasogi after the miss on the outside 3 by number 11, Basil Laster. So now Mustangs slow this down out of the point. Getting ready to set up for a good play here. Meja, pass outside. Goes to Williams. And the pass inside. Going out of bounds. Doesn't go through the way they want to due to Washington losing his footing there. So it's possession now to the Bears. 5-0, still have an up now, but gives them a little bit of a reprieve, an opportunity to pull back a little bit. Let's see what the Bears can do here. 3-2 zone still being played. A little bit of an opening in the back corner if need be. And the layup doesn't go through. But on the follow-up shot, doesn't go through either. Good rebound for Pang to get away from Obasogi, the 6'11 sophomore from Nigeria. And here's a nice big steal. Good takeaway for De Oliveira Santos. And he doesn't get the shot, but he does draw the foul. And now that he's drawn the foul, let's see. I believe he's going to be able to take 2 here. Yes, he will. And that'll be the first foul of the contest, going against Kifong Pong. And now Adamar De Oliveira Santos gets to take 2. First shot is a miss for the Swede. 6'8" forward. And ladies and gentlemen, I stand at 5 foot. I stand at 5'3". I'm a midget compared to these guys. That's why I'm commentating and not playing. De Oliveira Santos gets it on the second shot, and that'll be the first point for Harcum in this contest. A little bit of a press being played here by the Harcum Bears, trying to force the Mustangs into a mistake. The Mustangs get it down court masterfully. Corner 3 opportunity. Oh, and that's nothing but net for Jordan Sanders, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. 8-1 now. Response 3 goes wide for Nick Jones. And Pang able to get the rebound. Play being called for by Mejia. Mejia trying to find Washington on the inside. Protection against Washington's been good. Washington's been one of the big hot topics of conversation in the NCJAA this year. With his size and athleticism. Outside, trying to go forward with the rebound. Got a little too fancy with it. Recovered nicely by Jones. Outside 3. And that one does go through. And that one was a beauty for Corey Laval. A sophomore from New Zealand. A lot of international flavor between these two teams. Just looking at the Harcum Bears alone, you got Kosovo represented. Oh, and a big steal with the takeaway. And and a nice dunk, a hellacious dunk put through with authority by Riley Dunn. Riley Dunn with the big one. Got the steal and the takeaway, ran down court with it. And Mejia at the point. Sets up. Goes to Williams. Williams to Pang. And Pang, inside jumper, and that one's good. And now it's 10-6 after letting Harcum go on for a little bit of momentum run there. It now has been stunted by the Monroe Mustangs. Now the Mustangs back in control with just over 16 minutes to go in this tournament. Like I said, this is a chance to go to NCJAA National Tournament March Madness starting on March 22nd to whoever wins this contest. A chance for common kids to accomplish uncommon deeds. Corner 3, air balls. Doesn't go through for De Oliveira Santos. And there's a foul on the inside. And they're going to call it against Mejia. And Mejia will be at the second foul, and that'll be 2 shots for Ciro Obasogi. First free throw is good. If he can make the second, chance to make it a 3-point game potentially. That'll be Obasogi's first point. And Obasogi comes up with both. Bit of a press here being played by Harcum, trying to force a mistake. Oh, and he does do it. Nice tip on the defensive end by Laster. And a step out of bounds for the mistake on the back heel for Harcum. Will now give the ball back to Monroe, and that was a missed opportunity where they could have potentially tied it or take the lead. Mejia at the point. Calls for a play. Goes outside to Williams. Williams circles back. Here's Mejia from 3, and he sinks it. Here's Mejia with a big three-pointer for the freshman from the Bronx. Corner three goes wide, doesn't go through for Lavelle. And a chance for the Mustangs to try and expand the lead again. Leading 13-8 right now. 14:45 to go in the half. Plenty of basketball left to play. And play being called on the inside by head coach for the Mustangs, Jeff Brustad. And here's a jump three, doesn't go through for Mejia. And that'll be rebounded relative ease by Obasogi. Oh, backdoor and wide open for the layup. Put up and in beautifully by Corey Lavelle for the sophomore Kiwi from New Zealand. Like I said, a lot of international flavor on this roster. Just looking at Harcum alone, we got besides the United States, we got Kosovo represented. Ghana inside, shot misses, but a foul drawn for Ryan Williams. As I was saying, we got Kosovo represented. Ghana, New Zealand, Sweden, and Nigeria. And then you swing over to the Mustangs. And the Mustangs, you have Argentina, Australia, the Netherlands, Nigeria as well. So Ryan Williams gets to shoot two here. Miss on the first free throw, but he has with the second. He could make this a two-possession game right here, as right now the Mustangs leading by 3 over the Bears. And he'll make neither. Now that gives Harcum a little bit of breathing room. Substitution getting ready to come in from Monroe. Looks like Fakir Mosley's getting ready to come in. Push to the inside. Oh, layup misses for Lavelle. Jump three. Doesn't go through for Jordan Sanders. And this will be rebounded with ease. Son Washington got the good steal there. Tries to go for another. And throwing it over home is Obasogi. And here comes a response. 1 point lead at the moment. Throwing up. Nobody able to get it. And 2 misses on the inside for Ryan Williams. And here comes Harcum, wide open in the corner, and caught wide open. Nice one drilled by number 23 by Adamar de Oliveira Santos. And now Harcum takes the lead for the first time in this contest, 15-13. And the Mustangs will call a full timeout here, and we'll take a timeout as well on air. I'm Ben Smith from the Mustang Sports Network. Harcum leads 15-13. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mustang Sports Network coverage of the East District Championship game here from the MAC. I'm Ben Smith on the call. So timeout call by Monroe after a nice momentum shift in favor of the Harcum Bears. And King Pong Pong comes back in to replace Devere Palmer. Pong in that early going, had a lot of good play to make, and that one gets put up for the layup by Fakir Mosley, the freshman from Newark. And now here comes a response from Harcum. De Oliveira Santos trying to fight his way through the middle. Couldn't quite find the opening he was looking for. And will pass back outside to Nick Jones, and Jones will get called for the travel. And head coach for the Harcum Bears, John Ball, is not happy with them about that. And you can see Nick Jones looks over at the sideline and says, that was my fault. It's tied back up 15-15. And Zion Lott now substitutes in for the Harcum Bears to replace Cor Lavelle. And a nice steal. And Mosley loses it there. Here comes a push on the inside. A lot of presence on the arc. Oh, what a three for number 5, Nick Jones. And now that puts Harcum up by 3, 18-15. Play being called on the inside by Mejia. Mejia gets it to Pong. Pong now gets to Mosley. Mosley over to the corner to Mejia, and they call him for stepping back out of bounds. And you can see head coach John Ball, as well as the Harcum bench, really loves that one. Starting to turn up the volume and put on the psychological warfare against the Mustangs. And substitution here for the Mustangs, we have number 25, David Emetu, the freshman from Nigeria, to replace Jordan Sanders. Harcum leads by 3, trying to extend the lead a little bit, and a big foul on the inside. They're going to call Hassan Washington for that one. He's not happy about it. You saw him put his hands up. It'll be 2 shots for Basil Lester.
Number 21, Trey Washington is first, team's third. Basil Lester's on the line, shooting 2.
Basil Laster gets to shoot 2 here. First shot is nothing but net.
Number 5, Riley Dunn, he replaces number 21, Trey Washington.
And Trey Washington will sub out. That is not something the Mustangs wanted to see early, as he's been a big part of the team on the inside. Fight for the rebound after the ball got knocked away off the rim and almost lost it out of bounds. Riley Dunn now comes in, the 7-foot freshman from Australia. A lot of height on this team. And errant pass that got away from Dunn, and that'll turn it back over to Harcum. And so bad pass for David Emetu. (19-15). Harcum leads by 4. 2-possession game at the moment as things stand. And here's a 3 from the corner, and that one goes through for Vivera Santos. Like I said, Harcum beat the Mustangs here at their place in their one matchup this season. They must know something about the Mustangs that we don't. They are well prepared and looking to come back right where they left off last time. Over to the corner. Jump 3. Too much juice behind it for David Emetu, and ends up missing on it. Here comes the push. Here the gap. Outside. 3-pointer again. And another one drained for De Oliveira Santos. This man cannot be stopped. Oh my goodness. And now it is suddenly a 10-point lead for Harcum over the Mustangs. It'll be a 30-second timeout called by Monroe with 10:38 remaining in the first half. Mustangs are in trouble. No doubt about that. Just taking a look here at some of the stats right now. Both of teams have pretty even shooting percentage. 53% for Harcum, 54% for Monroe. Oh, Harcum's taking more shots. 5 3-pointers now for Harcum and for the Bears, and for the Mustangs at only 3. 3 for 7 on the 3-point percentage. When you're shooting 55% from 3, like the Bears are, you can kind of dictate your own destiny a little bit. They're also out-rebounding the Mustangs 9-5. And then 7 turnovers for the Mustangs as well. That's something they're going to have to clean up. The fact they're already at that number, whereas the Bears only sit at 4. Now we are back underway after the 30-second timeout. Mejia, pass to the outside to Mosley. Mosley, jumper, And he gets that one through and finally stops the bleeding. And Fakir Mosley able to finally put something up. And so now it's an 8-point game. Mustangs need a big stop here. In a championship setting like this, big leads can be hard to come back from. And another foul on the inside, and it's an and one for Basile Laster. And foul will be charged to Mejia. So it'll be one shot for Laster and a chance for a 3-point swing and put the situation where it's going to be a potentially a 11-point game if he can make this shot.
One shot coming for Basile Laster.
And nothing but net for Basile Laster on that one. Corey Lavelle already sits at 10 points on this contest. And Jordan Sanders will substitute for Mejia on the Mustang side of things. Mosley almost getting double teamed, ball knocked out of bounds on the defensive end. And so it'll still be a Mustangs ball. We'll have to inbound it here, and you can see Coach Brustad is yelling to his team to wake up, and wake up big time. Mustangs looking a little cold right now to start off this contest. They got a little bit of a lead early, but the Harcum Bears were able to fight back, catch them flat-footed, and that one's not going to go in for Pang, and will go out of bounds. Pang couldn't quite get there in time.
Out of bounds, possession to the Bears.
You can see some of the frustration on the faces of the Mustangs, and they're going to have to shake this off and try and recompose themselves so that they can pull this back. Otherwise, the Bears have a chance to really pull something big off from in here. And you can hear Coach Brustad really yelling at these guys to wake up and get back in position. Bit of a 3-2 zone at the moment, and that'll be a travel against De Oliveira. Violation for travel against De Oliveira Santos. And it'll be a Mustangs ball. 9:19 to go. And Mosley at the point sets up the next play. Goes outside to Sanders. Sanders looking for options on the inside. The inside protection really closing up at the moment. And the layup doesn't go through for Mosley, but he does draw the foul. The 6'2 guard from Newark. He doesn't even look like has that much height right now on the court, but when you look at some of the giants that are on this court right now, he looks dwarfed by comparison, despite standing at a solid 6'2". So Fakir Mosley now gets to shoot 2 for the native from Newark. First free throw is nothing but net. And some substitutions coming in. It'll be Ryan Williams Jr. coming back in, as well as number 21, Trey Washington. 6'7" sophomore from Providence, Rhode Island. One more shot for Mosley. A little short on it. He's going to fight for the rebound, and it's going to be go in Lott's favor. And Glenn Lott now sitting in the arc with it, trying to find her lane to get through. Oh, lose the footing a little bit. This could be a jump ball forced here, and the Mustangs are able to force it. He lost the handle on it a bit. And Harcum calls for a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. .851 to go in the half. And we sit at a 10-point gap at the moment. I'm curious to see what the Harcum Bears decide to do here. I'm just looking at the gaps right now. Now Monroe takes a free throw. Another thing that's coming into this is free throws. 5 for 7 on free throws for Harcum, and 1 for 4 on free throws for Monroe. So there's a few things here Monroe needs to clean up if they're going to pull off a win on this. One thing Monroe, I think, has going for them pretty good, though, is they got a lot of bench points. 5-0 in points off the bench. Harcum inbounds it. Look topside. There was some trickery on the play. Rivera Santos trying to fight through on the inside, can't get through. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Jump three from way outside doesn't go through for Laster, and that's going to be recovered on the rebound by Ryan Williams Jr. Wilson almost losing the handle on the ball as Mosley recovers it. Mustangs now trying to look at their options. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Got to make something happen and make it happen fast. Way outside from three. Oh, and it goes through from about 35 feet for Jordan Sanders. That's going to be an exclamation point. That could shoot a jolt of lightning into the Mustangs and wake them back up. Here comes Nick Jones trying to fight through. Can't get through. Gets it to Lott. Lott against Laster. Laster jump on the inside. Gets stuffed by blocked by Washington. And now here comes shot taken. Doesn't go through for Peng. The ball rolls out of bounds after being mishandled by Harcum on the rebound. A lot of bodies colliding on the inside there. It looked like a little bit of a rugby scrum trying to go for the ball.
Return for the Bears, number 24, Cyril Obasogi. He replaces number 13, Corey Lavelle.
And Cyril Obasogi comes back in for Harcum. Replaces Corey Lavelle. Inbounded to Peng. Peng. Now goes to Williams. Williams almost loses the ball and almost has to recover it before it goes across the midline. Here's the next push for... That ball doesn't quite go in on the layup attempt for Fakir Mosley.
Fouls charged to Harcum's number 11, Basil Laster, and that is his second, team's third.
And Basil Laster gets called for his second foul. And now we sit at 4-3 foul differential. Mosley now gets to shoot. First free throw is good.
And for the Bears, number 10, Kendall Allen. He replaces number 11, Basil Laster.
One more shot for Mosley. Kendall Allen also substitutes in, makes this one. Kendall Allen also substitutes in for Harcum, the sophomore from Vacaville, California, and replaces Laster. To Laster getting into foul trouble. Williams fighting his way through. So Jones. Oh, nice big block. Oh, they're going to call goaltending against Trey Washington. And that'll count the basket. So Nick Dorian's layup was good. Nick Jones able to get that one. Now Monroe looking to get another response. They're down 7. Peng, mid-range jumper. Doesn't go through. Rebound on the inside for Washington, and Washington is not looking like himself. Peng, though, managed to get the steal and put this one up, and Peng with a big basket. King Fong Pong with a big shot with a layup. Oh, my goodness. There were a lot of bodies scrumming on the inside there, fighting for real estate. But he came through. 5-point game now. Obasogi passes to the outside. Gets to Nick Jones. Jones back pass back to Obasogi and laces up himself over the head of Hassan Washington. And he's able to come through with it. 6 minutes to go here in the half. And that kind of stopped some of the momentum that Monroe was starting to build. Inside mid-range jumper. Doesn't go through for Ryan Williams. Bit of a wild shot. Now here comes Jones. Jones finding wide open at the 3 is Zion Lott. And that was an air ball shot. Easily going to be recovered by the Mustangs, but miss on the layup for Ryan Williams. That's one that could come back to bite him. You got to make shots like that, especially when you have that much real estate in your favor. And that's going to go in for Obasogi, who is really raising havoc on the inside right now. little bit of a cleanup of a wet spot on the floor here. And that allows for a little bit of a pause. Right now it's down 9 for the Mustangs versus Harcum. Jago Robinson now substitutes in for the Mustangs. For the first time, the freshman guard from Brooklyn. Number 3, he will replace Jordan Sanders. Nasir Washington substitutes in as well for Harcum to replace Nick Jones. Ryan Williams fights his way through the middle. Jumper. Doesn't go. Fight for the rebound. Tipped by Pung and then recovered by Obasogi. Outside 3 is going to miss for De Oliveira Santos, and the rebound will be recovered by Trey Washington. So right now, the Mustangs trying to find themselves, regain some initiative on this exchange. Step back 3, doesn't go through for Trey Washington. Washington calls for play formation on the inside, and a foul. This one will be charged to Jago Washington. And some substitutions here. Number 0, Mejia, comes back in, and he will replace Ryan Williams. Oh, good pick for the 3 shot, but doesn't go through for Kendall Allen. And now here comes a response. And that goes through for the and 1 for Eric Mejia. Oh my goodness, what a shot. That was something Monroe desperately needed. Now Mosley will substitute out. And Jordan Sanders comes back in. And it'll be 1 shot for Mejia. Miss on the shot, free throw line, and Obasogi will come up with the rebound. Obasogi back to Nasir Washington, and then to Kendall Allen at the point. Allen outside, gets it to Jones. Jones throws this up for the layup, zig-zag, giving the zigzag down through on the inside and make the play. And fight for a shot after the fast break attempt doesn't go up for Trey Washington. And now Washington's going to draws the foul and will be able to shoot 2. And Ciro Obasogi will get charged with that foul for his first. Now both teams equal at 5 fouls apiece with 3:52 to go in the first half. Harcum leads by 9. May not seem like a big lead, but that's about where the gap has maintained, is in that 7 to 9 range. First free throw is no good. Like, Mustangs have been terrible on free throws to start this contest. Sam Washington will be able to take 1 more free throw.
Back into the players, number 23, Adam Ardella, Lavar Santos, replacing number 13, Corey Lavelle.
And the second free throw, is good for Hassan Washington. And that's his first point of the contest all day. Harcum, set for their next push. Obasogi reverses to Jones. Jones drives lane on the inside, tries to go back door to Obasogi. Obasogi trying to fight for space, and Trey Washington all over him with the pressure. De Oliveira Santos couldn't quite find the space he needed and got ball taken away by Mejia. Step back 3 from Saunders, doesn't go through. Fight for the rebound. Pong, Washington all trying to get their hands inside. And Pong was called stepped out of bounds, and I think he just hit his back pretty hard up against the support for the basket himself. And he was kind of grimacing in pain, favoring his back, but he's going to get up and he'll be all right. 3:15 to go. It's still lead by 8 right now for the Harcum Bears. The Mustangs are having a lot of trouble shooting of late. They're down to 43% shooting overall. Whereas Harcum maintaining at holding steady at 54. And 4 for 9 on free throws from Monroe. 5 for 7 for Harcum. When Harcum's been able to take them, they make them count. And jump 3 air balls. And that's going to go off Trey Washington. Trey Washington is beside himself that he couldn't hold on to the ball after the miss from Nasir Washington. Trey Washington, though, is struggling out there today. And Trey Washington, one of the best players out here, with averaging 11.5 points per game. Third best in scoring, corner 3. And that one goes through for Nasir Washington. Absolute dagger from Harcum. They lead by 11 now, 2:40 to go in the half. There's going to be a lot of discussion from Coach Burstead to his team during this halftime to try and get them to wake up and not give up a championship. That one does through for Jago Washington. Still a 9-point game, though. Puts you on the inside, and that'll be a travel call against Nasir Washington. And the Mustangs fans behind us, they love that one. And 2:14 to go as we come into the closing minutes of the first half.
Back into the Bears, number 2, Zion Bond. He replaces number 1, Nasir Washington.
Pressed through in the shot. Mejia doesn't make it. And we rebounded. Fast break attempt. Stolen back by Jagger Robinson. De Oliveira over him and a reach in for trying to get a steal as Allen, and that's going to be a foul. And they're going to call a stiff arm foul against Adamar De Oliveira Santos. There'll be inbounding opportunity here. One more foul for Harcum, and they will be in the bonus, and that was the second foul. And now we got a substitution here in place of Fong. It'll be Kylan Ethart, the freshman from the Netherlands. Substitutions as well on the Bear side of things with Lavelle Laster coming in and De Oliveira Santos and Kendall Allen coming out. Still playing time on the shot clock, trying to force something to happen quickly. Rebound on the shot that was blocked immediately by Mejia, and step back air ball 3 for Jordan Sanders. Not going to win any games like that. .133 to go. Let's see what happens now with the point with Laster with the ball, trying to get a pick from Obasogi to get the space he needed, and he got that space and took a 3 as a result. 42-30 for Harcum over the Mustangs. Mustangs, despite being the 1 seed in the district and the home team, are looking at playing in an unmitigated disaster at the moment. 1 minute remaining in this, and tip on the 3 attempt for Jago Robinson. A little bit of a block hand on it. And right now, the Bears have their number. They definitely did their homework. Trying to fight through the middle. Miss on the shot for Laster. Rebound shot. Laster miss again. And this is going to be ripped out of his hands by Trey Washington. They're going to call it a jump ball. And the Mustangs fans getting really amped up behind us.
Jump ball possession arrow favors the Bears.
And the jump ball possession will favor the Bears. Ball inbounded. 33 seconds on the clock. And that'll be a foul against Jagger Robinson. So it'll still be a Harcum ball. Team's 6 apiece. And Jagger Robinson's second. So it'll be a throw-in for Lavelle. Lavelle inbounds it to Laster. Laster, 15 seconds on the shot clock, trying to look for space on the inside. Now back to Obasogi. Obasogi back to Laster. Laster, spin move, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Shoots, it doesn't go through, and a shot clock violation against the Harcum Bears. And so 7.6 seconds remaining, down by 12. There's an opportunity for the Mustangs potentially to get one shot off. They can get into position for it. There's a substitution here as Kendall Allen comes in to replace Basil Laster. And we're back underway. 5 seconds on the clock. Something's got to happen here. Mejia trying to force his way through. Gets the and one right before the buzzer with 0.1 seconds left. He gets 2. And head coach John Ball is beside himself with his hands out. And Corey Lavelle will get called for the foul for his first. And Mejia will get to shoot 1 and potentially draw this down to a single digits lead of 9 points. And he makes the shot. It'll have to be a heave-ho, roll the ball, the inbound did, and now not be enough time to take a shot. And that will do it. At halftime, Harcum leads 42-33 over the Monroe Mustangs. And we're going to take a break here, ladies and gentlemen, and be back here in about 15 minutes' time with some first half stats and second half action here on the Mustang Sports Network. I'm Ben Smith. We'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mustang Sports Network. I'm Ben Smith on the call. About to come out of halftime and get ready for second half action of the East District Championships here from the MAC. We're looking ahead and at some stats right now and how things have played out. Lead scorers for Harcum are Ademar de Oliveira Santos, who put up a flurry of early threes and sits at 10 points on the game so far. And then Dorian Nick Jones sits at 9 points. Everyone's shifting over to personal fouls. It's tied at 2 between Basile Laster as well as De Oliveira Santos. Down on the Monroe side of things, nobody in double digits scoring yet. Top 2 scorers are Jordan Sanders at 9 points and Eric Mejia at 8 points. And personal foul leaders are Ryan Williams Jr. at 2 and Mejia with 2 as well. The other big thing that stands out to me is field goal percentages are quite stark in difference. 51% in shooting for Harcum. They've been very consistent on shots, and they both are equal on number of shots taken at 29. Monroe, on the other hand, is only 41% in shooting right now as the stats stand. And so it'll be Monroe ball to begin the second half. Ball inbounded here. And Williams swings outside, gets it to Mejia. Jump shot and draws the foul for Ryan Williams. And it's going to be an elbow foul. Well, it looks like it's going to be against Ademar de Oliveira Santos for his third personal foul. If the Mustangs can force him to get into more trouble, that could be interesting. So he'll be shooting 2. First shot, nothing but net for Ryan Williams. But big things for Monroe. Just got to clean up some of the play and some of the silly mistakes. Try and get shots made on the inside and create opportunities where needed. And second shot doesn't go through for Ryan Williams. He's going to make free throws as well. There's some guys here in the lineup we're still waiting to see come alive, such as Eric Mejia. Devere Palmer Jr. is conspicuously absent, likely due to, for reasons I don't know at the moment. And Trey Washington barely managed to make a dent yet. Usually scores 11.5 points per game. And that was a great rebound. Step back 3. And that one on the second chance goes through for Eric Mejia. That's exactly what the Mustangs needed. Now it's a 5-point game. Harcum. I'm talking to Joe Latano, our esteemed athletic communications director here. And he said when the Mustangs lost to the Harcum Bears here at home in the regular season on January 25th, it was by far one of the worst losses of the season for the Mustangs, and some of the ugliest play he has ever seen. Mustangs trying to be better than that today, especially since they're the 1 seed here in the district. Pong able to get that rebound. Jumper doesn't go through. Trey Washington gets it. Step back 3. Doesn't go through. Almost gets tipped in by Ryan Williams. Couldn't quite get it through. And temperature really picking up here. Oh, fast break opportunity. Oh, and that's in for the dunk for Ryan Williams Jr. Put some sugar and spice and everything nice on that one. That's exactly what the Mustangs need right now. It's a 3-point game. Step back 3. And that will blunt the momentum of the Mustangs, with that one being put away by Ademar Oliveira Santos, being left wide open in the near side corner. Mejia, pass outside, gets to Jordan Sanders. Sanders. Almost loses the ball here, recovers it. Looking towards Pong. Goes for 3. Doesn't go through. And Trey Washington kind of gets boxed out on the rebounds. And this one's going to go big, picked up by Dorian Nick Jones. And Jones to Laster. And now to Lavelle. Back on the outside shooting. Here's Jones from 3, doesn't go through. And Pong able to get the rebound. 17-18 to go in this contest. Inside pass. And Williams tries to go for a layup. You got to make those shots there, kid. Golden opportunity. I don't know how you're not missing it. You can see the look on Jeff Brustad's face. He is not happy about that. Especially the Mustangs need to get some stops here. And Cyril Basogi throws for a shot, and there'll be a foul. And no shot prior to the basket. It's been 21. Trey Washington will get the foul as second. And that'll be now both teams equal with a foul piece here to start the half. Step back 3, and that one doesn't go through. Ryan Williams able to get the rebound. But a few players who are normally big playmakers for this Mustangs team struggling right now. And Pong will reverse. Gets to Williams. And now to Washington inside. And a nice skyhook for the layup for Jordan Williams. 4-point game now. The gap is going to be close. Folks, whoever's going to win this, it's not going to be a pretty win. This is going to be an ugly win kind of game. You can already see it starting to pick up, getting a little more chippy, a little more physical out there. People being willing to play a little more tricks as well. Trying to go for fast breaks and steals and seeing if they can force the issue. And jump back 3 doesn't go through for Laster. And now here comes Mejia to start off the next play. Mejia. Pass out. Oh, and the pass gets stolen away, intercepted by Nick Jones. Good read on it. Fights his way through. Doesn't get through on the shot. Mejia recovers it. He's going to bound his way down the court. And 2 from 3 situation. Shot gets off for Williams, and he doesn't make it. And that'll be another foul for a hip check. Adamar de Villavera Santos now for his 4th foul. And that's been a big weapon for this Harcum Bears team, and now he will be out until the latter stages and have to substitute. Otherwise, he will first fouling out. And it looks like he's going to be replaced by Zion Lott. That was a big foul that was much needed. Here comes 2 shots from Williams. First shot is short. Zion Lott, the sophomore guard from Waterbury, Connecticut. Let's see what Williams can do here on the second shot. And that was nothing but net on that second shot. And that puts the lead to 3. It's a 1-possession game, ladies and gentlemen. There's a jump 3, and that's going to go wide for Lavelle with with De Oliveira Santos. Now having to be on the bench for a while because of the fouls. This is something the Mustangs can take advantage of potentially and try to force the conversation. They still got Dorian Nick Jones out there to contend with, but Mejia and Sanders both sitting at 11 points right now. Sanders forced the lane through, can't get it, almost tips it away for El Prone, and here comes Dorian Nick Jones throwing it down himself, can't get through, but the rebound shot does go in for Zion Lott. And a timeout called by Harcum. And it'll be a 30-second timeout. That stretches the lead back to 5. But let's see both teams what they can decide to do here on the timeout and try and flip the script a little bit. So after that layup, it looks like Harcum's looks like head coach John Ball has figured something out that he wants to get on the defensive side of things to get a stop against the Mustangs. Well, his head coach Jeff Brustad's going to try and pull for a play here. You can see him writing down on his board creating some sort of play. I'm curious what the boys decide to do. Thankfully, though, even with the fouls and some of the intensity we've seen here, frankly, it's not turning into a bare knuckle brawl like the Allegheny Baltimore City game did. That looked like an 80s, 90s Bulls Pistons game with the way they were slugging each other. 39 personal fouls in that contest. That was just a a massacre. Good insight was offered in that postgame interview from head coach Tommy Reams. Enjoyed talking to him, as well as Jalen Brown from that squad. A lot of promise to build off of, only losing 3 sophomores on that roster. A lot of talent returning for the Allegheny Trojans. I will be curious to see what they do in the inside next year, and a foul on the inside. That'll be 2 shots. Dorian Nick Jones gets called for the foul, his second. Well, they call for shooting too. Instead, it's going to be an inbound shot. They get it inside to Pong. Pong fighting his way through. Goes for the shot, doesn't get it, but he does get the foul. And I think this one's going to be against Laval. Yep, that's second foul for Cora Laval. And so sitting now, 4 fouls early on in the second half for Harcum. 7 puts you in the bonus, 10 in the double bonus. So Monroe starting to grow an advantage here if they can keep the play clean. Pong goes for free throw, but Monroe's not doing themselves any favor, but they can't make any free throws right now. They're 7 for 15 on free throws at 46%. If they end up losing this game, I'm going to point directly at free throws. Second one does go in for Quing Fang Pong. Back to a 4-point game. The Harcum Bears set up for the next play. We hear the fans getting animated behind me. 3-point attempt for Jones. Tries to go through and doesn't. And the jump rebound, try and keep it alive from Jordan Sanders. Doesn't. Ends up stepping out of bounds. It'll still be a Harcum ball. And I don't know why he tried to get too fancy with that, because he had time. Harcum abdicated the inside. Obasogi trying to muscle his way through, and he does. He gets a beautiful basket on that one. And some of the Harcum fans who are here really love that one. And Mejia to Pong. Williams, mid-range jumper. Too much juice behind it. Overshoots just a little bit. Be recovered by Laster. Laster getting down court to the masked menace. So we'll see Kurtaj, sophomore from Kosovo. Here comes Laster trying to force through the gap. Can't get through. But he forwards it out, forwards a 3, and it doesn't go through for Kurtaj. Here comes Mejia, mid-range jumper, pressing through. I don't know why he tried to get too fancy with it. He had time to play with. Over towards the corner. Williams trying to fight his way through, draws the foul. And yet another one against Harcum. And that'll be another one second one against Cyril Obasogi, the Nigerian giant.
That sends Ryan Williams Jr. to the line, shooting 2.
First free throw is good for Ryan Williams Jr. That's 5 points for him. And second shot is good. Ryan Williams been at least a bright spot on the free throws for the Mustangs. 4-point game again. Trying to find a way to flip the script and close the gap momentum-wise against Harcum. especially with the foul advantage they have right now. Laster trying to force the gap, shoots, and he draws the foul. And that'll be against Mejia. Be 2 shots. That'll be the 3rd personal foul for Eric Mejia.
Number 0, Eric Mejia. That's his 3rd, team's 2nd of the half.
So 2 shots coming up here for Laster.
Shoot 2.
First free throw is good for Basile Laster. Puts him at 8 points. And 9 points for him now. And right now, jump 3. And that one goes through, and that one was a beauty for Jordan Saunders, a sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. And we got a 3-point game. It is 1 possession, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Sanders putting the team on his back and managing to get points when it is needed. Mejia got the assist on it. Here comes Jones trying to fight through, and he'll get foul, or the foul. Mejia is beside himself right now. So is Pong. I'm going to call for the hand slap.
Mustangs foul strikes number 0, Eric Mejia.
And that'll be Mejia's 4th foul. He is 1 foul away from fouling out, and he's going to walk away. And looks like Ryan Williams is going to put his arm around him, trying to get him to cool off a little bit. You got a substitution about to come in as a result of this. He is very frustrated right now. The first free throw is a miss for Nick Jones. He'll come out, and now coming in now is Fakir Mosley.
He replaces number 0, Eric Mejia.
Mosley, we saw have some solid points and some stints during the first half. And Fakir Mosley got 7 points in that first half. Both shots miss on the free throws, so still a 3-point game. And a call for a play there for the Mustangs, trying to fight their way through. Miss on the layup. I don't know why you're trying to get too fancy with the sky hook there for Fakir Mosley. All you're doing, like, if you're not going to make it, don't do it. And that'll be rebounded after the missed 3 by Trey Washington. And now Mosley start play again. You can see some miscommunication between him and Trey Washington. Washington calls for a play. Jumper makes this one, and Mosley waking up. And it's a 1-point game, 51-50. And the Mustangs full timeout called by the Mustangs. And 11:57 remaining in regulation. We're going to take a quick break here on the broadcast, and we'll be right back. You're not going to want to miss this one. It's a 1-point game. Ben Smith from the Mustang Sports Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mustang Sports Network. Ben Smith on the call from the MAC. And we are back underway. After a timeout called by the Mustangs, full timeout. So they could reorient. I'm looking for a big stop here. It's a 1-point game now. Harcum probably searching to see if they can get some fouls. One of their big weapons that's helped it to us is Ademar de Olivier Santos. Got taken out because he's sitting at 4 fouls at the moment. with the zone defense being put up, and they're going to call a foul. And this one's going to be against Fakir Mosley. Ref's calling a lot of fouls on this one, and I don't think the fans are real happy about this. And now it's only a 1 foul difference between these two teams. Those things have to be careful. And here comes a press. Jones circles, shoots, and he makes the layup. 3-point game. Here's Mosley at the point. Mosley outside to Trey Washington. Trey Washington, mid-range jumper, and he makes this one. What a beauty for Trey Washington. The man starting to wake, Trey Washington, after struggling to wake up in the first half, starting to come alive here of late in these last few minutes. 5 points for him now. And it's back to a 1-point game, 52-53, trying to go inside with a deep stretch pass, trying to get it to Obasogi. Obasogi backs outside to Laster, and it's going to be stolen away nicely by Mosley. Mosley gets down to Williams, and that one goes in, and the Mustangs take the lead, 54-53. Oh, what a turnaround by the Mustangs. This is exactly what we want to see. Laster. Harcum all shell-shocked right now, trying to find something to go inside. Hits a lot. And now back to Laster and try to go inside. And the ball gets absolutely stripped out of him, even though it goes out of bounds. What a block and strip by Trey Washington. Like I said, the man is finally starting to wake up. If I may paraphrase a quote, a famous historical quote, I'm afraid the Bears have awoken a sleeping giant and filled him with terrible resolve. Schmiss on the shot, rebounded by Ryan Williams, and you can hear the excitement picking up from the Mustangs faithful up behind me. Fakir Mosley, calling for a play, wants the pick from Washington, as well as from Pong. Pong trying to go for the pass, a little frustrated, he's not getting it, but Mo takes himself, and he'll make this. Fakir Mosley, another one, really waking up here. 9 points for him now. 56-53 now. Sometimes if you're having trouble in the threes like they were, play the small ball and see if that helps you pull it back, and it is. And we're now down to under 10 minutes to go in this one, and that'll be an offensive foul. The stiff arm being thrown by Basile Laster, and you can see how excited Jordan Sanders is by that one. And that'll be Basile Laster's 4th foul. He is in trouble, and timeout called by Harcum. And that'll be a 30-second timeout being called by Harcum. And they're going to have to keep an eye on this, because now we're going to have the personal fouls count. That's going to be, 3 personal fouls for Laster. That now puts a lot of their heavy hitters in some deep foul trouble. We're also only 1 foul away from putting Monroe in the bonus. The rebounding machine too, Cyril Obasogi. Ryan Williams is almost at eight rebounds. So Obasogi is already in double-double territory for Harcum. Ryan Williams also at 7 assists. If he picks up on the points as well as the rebounds and assists, there could be we could see something special here. 2 steals as well for Ryan Williams. And Cyril Obasogi and Jordan Sanders, though, leading in efficiency at 12 efficiency for Jordan Sanders, and Cyril Obasogi with 17. And this now changed to a full timeout unexpectedly. And let's see what ends up being developed out of this. You can hear how raucous the crowd is right now behind me. 56-53. Let's see what both teams decide to do for potential adjustments here. Mustangs were riding high on some momentum leading into these plays. And they're just going to continue with it. Oh, what a hellacious dunk on the back door by Ryan Williams Jr. Here comes a response from Harcum, trying to not lose the energy, trying not to give up on the conversation here. And that one thrown in on a Hail Mary throw from just inside by Jones. Oh, and they're trying to go for the dunk, with Washington went too crazy with it. Here comes another push. Oh, what a block on the inside by Pong and recovered by Mosley. (58-55). 8:28 to go. Mid-range jumper doesn't go through. Fight for the rebound. It's going to be recovered by Sanders, and then Sanders loses it, and it's going to be grabbed by Jones. Here comes Laster, trying to force his way through himself, and they will call for the foul. It'll be 2 shots.
Monroe foul charge number 21, Trey Washington. That's his 3rd team.
And that'll be the 3rd against Trey Washington.
Basile Laster to the line, shooting 2.
Basile Laster to the line. And it looks like Adamar de Oliveira Santos coming back in. He sits at 4 fouls right now. Even one of the main shakers and movers for this Bears team. He'll replace Corey Lavelle. And you're seeing a lot of discussion going on down here. I'm getting real chippy all of a sudden. 1-point game, 58-57. Now we switch back over. The Mustangs again, looking to regain some of the initiative right now. Giving up a couple free throws that were good for Laster. Fakir Mosley trying to push the inside, and Jones saying he fouls Jones as Jones went to get the steal and pushed him in the back. And that tie will tie at 6 fouls apiece.
Monroe foul charge number 1, Fakir Mosley. That's his 2nd.
And that'll be Fakir Mosley's 2nd foul. Now Preston for the next play. Zion Lott to Laster. And Jones trying to be the main shaker mover here right now. Can't find room on the inside. And tries to go through to Santos. Santos goes for the shot, and it gets tipped out of bounds. No foul. This will be a throw-in. 12 seconds on the shot clock. 7:27 to go. Inbounded, backdoor. Doesn't go in for Obisogi, and Pong gets the rebound. Fast break. Here comes Sanders, and he's going to get chip check fouled by Jones. Folks, it wasn't looking like a Bulls-Pistons game, 80s, 90s Bulls-Pistons game to start, but now it is firmly going into that territory. Everybody's fighting for every inch they can get. Now Sanders gets to shoot 2. And Dorian Nick Jones gets his 3rd personal foul. We are firmly in the bonus now. And nothing but net on that first shot. Oh, miss on the 2nd free throw. Just barely kept in bounds. As Obisogi lost the balance a little bit. And a little bit of a stiff arm being thrown there by Laster. Tipped, almost went out of bounds, just barely kept alive. Oliveira Santos, and another foul. And they're calling this one against Ryan Williams. That'll be his 1st personal foul. 7th, so we're now in the bonus for both teams. And Ademar de Oliveira Santos gets to shoot 2. A chance to potentially tie the game if he can make both. 1 point gap now. Stomping you here in the background, ladies and gentlemen, is the softball team. Really caught being the main cheerleader here. And we're tied now, 59-59. The softball team being absolutely ruthless right now. Trying to rally the fans to get going behind us. This environment is nuts right now. Sanders, mid-range jumper, and he makes the shot. Back to the lead for Monroe, 61-59. After the second half, all of a sudden, Monroe has outscored Harcum 28-17. Outside 3. Oh, that's a big dagger. That one put away by Basile Laster. And now that gives Harcum the lead by 1. 62-61. Here comes Mosley. Mosley passes the inside to Washington. Doesn't make the shot. Fight for the rebound. Getting a little argy-bargy going on there. Recovered, though, by Harcum. Laster passes the inside. Yobasogi trying to fight his way through to the gap. Can't get through. Fight for the rebound is hard. And Quing Feng Pong able to get this one. Pass to the outside. Skyhook. And that one goes through for Fakir Mosley. Outstretched out with his legs spread. And skyhooks it. 63-62. Doing his best Vince Carter impression. Laster at the point. Pass outside to Jones. Jones fights through the gap in the middle. Doesn't get through. Washington rebounds. Now Trey Washington gets to Mosley. Mosley will slow this down here, calling for the next play. We have just over 5 minutes to go. In the immortal words of Yogi Berra, it's getting late early, ladies and gentlemen. Spin move from Pong. Can't get through on the shot. Ball loose. Recovered by De Oliveira Santos. And a step outside with the heel called against Zion Lott, and that turns it back over to the Mustangs. A missed opportunity for Harcum. And now, as we get into the later stages, Eric Mejia comes back in, but one hell of a stint there for Fakir Mosley, really waking this team up and getting them moving. Sanders, step back from the 3, doesn't get through, and it's going to be jump for the rebound for Laster. Laster trying to go the fast break to Zion, can't get through, tips off Washington. A little bit of his handle on the ball here, and that's going to go out of bounds off of Williams' back, I think, and Williams a little slow to get up, but he'll be all right. It'll still be a Harcum ball. There's Zion Lott, and outside to Laster. Laster out to the corner. Jones tried to thought about taking 3, thought better of it, and Mejia pass outside to him, but this one will go up for Zion Lott. And now it is 65-63, Harcum leading, and a timeout call by the Harcum Bears with 2-point game, 4:10 to go, and this will be a full timeout for the Bears. We'll take a break here as well in the broadcast and be right back on the Mustang Sports Network. I'm Ben Smith. You don't want to miss this one. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mustang Sports Network. Ben Smith on the call from the MAC for the East District Championships for the NCJAA. The winner of this goes on to the national tournament. Pong trying to fight his way through, and he gets the layup and fights for some space. A beauty of a shot, tied back up 65. Kung Fong Pong sitting at 9 points. And you can hear the defense chants from the softball team up top. Baseball, softball already underway their seasons and have a big one. Oh, what a block by Washington. That's going to translate. Sanders goes through, and he gets the layup and a timeout called by the Bears. Oh, what a play for the Mustangs. That was a big one. 67-65, a 30-second timeout being called here. Oh my goodness. Teams are both shooting terrible at this point. 44% shooting though for Monroe. They got the slight advantage. Harcum has gone dead cold on shooting and down to 40% after being up in the 50s at halftime. And right now Monroe is outscoring them in this second half, 34-23. I don't know what Jeff Brewstead said to these boys during the halftime in the locker room, but whatever he did, don't argue with it. It's working, ladies and gentlemen. This one is going to be dramatic, and all credit due to Harcum, to John Ball, for really getting these guys to wake up. I mean, the largest lead at one point was 12 points for Harcum. Monroe, their largest, very early at 7. But Harcum got that 12-point lead, and we're kind of maintaining that 8 to 12-point gap for quite a while during that first half. But Monroe looking like they've been revived like a phoenix in this second half and have really been making Harcum pay the price. Here comes Laster. Can't get through to the lane. Goes outside to Nick Jones to deliver Santos at the point. Does the switch with Lott, trying to go inside to Obasogi. Obasogi try to go for the layup. It's going to be real physical here, and Sanders holds on to this one, and they're going to call foul against Sanders after spinning off the back of De La Vera Santos. You can see the assistant coach is trying to call for a play here for Mustangs, and now all of a sudden Jeff Brewstad really throwing his hands up. We'll be inbounding here. Really applying the pressure to try to make sure that Harcum can't get the space they need. No foul on the play, actually, excuse me. They're going to say it was turned over. It's going to be a step on the line, apparently, when he had the ball from Saunders. And De La Vera Santos comes in, and Cordoval comes back in. Trying to be careful with De La Vera Santos because he sits at 4 fouls right now. Laster forced through the inside. Lays Jones for the layup, can't get it. Recovered though by Lott. And Lott loses his footing. And they're going to say he stepped over on the line as with the ball while he was laying prone. Great defense played by Jordan Sanders to really make him pay the price on this. The sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Sanders really making his presence known. 67-65, 2:48 to go. You do not want to go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody on the edge of their seats behind me. We're on the edge of our seats here ourselves, my broadcast crew here. We're loving this one. Everybody on the edge of their seat for this. Ping Fong Pong try to go for the layup, can't get through, gets it denied. That was a nice block for Lovell. And back to Dorian Nick Jones. And on the outside here, some movement on the inside. Here comes the press from Laster, trying to get through, can't get it. Ball almost lost, kept in bounds by Lott. Fight for some real estate right now. 13 seconds on the shot clock. And over the head of it, throwing that shot over his head by Dorian Nick Jones. How did he make that? 67-67. Lay for mid-range just outside the layup from the key. And that one put up by Eric Mejia. It's 69-67 now. Under 2 minutes to go. 1:50 to go here on this one. Here's a play being called for by Jeff Brustad. One of a man defense right now. Pass outside. Lavelle. Oh, stolen away by Saunders. He's off to the races by himself, and he puts this up and in. That was a beauty of a play. And now it's a 4-point lead. That was a big play. 3-point shot doesn't go through. Recovered here by Mejia. Press trying to be played here by Harcum to force a mistake. And then back to Mejia, forcing another reset. And that's going to get tipped out of bounds by Zion Lott with 70 seconds to go. And substituting back in, because he's at 4 fouls, replaced Lowell, Adamar de Oliveira Santos. And a full timeout has been called with 1:10 remaining by the Mustangs. And with that, we'll take one last timeout here with 70 seconds to go. The Mustangs lead over the Bears, 71-67, 1:10 to go. We'll be right back. You don't want to miss this. Ben Smith on the call. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mustang Sports Network. Ben Smith on the call from the MAC for the East District Tournament Championship matchup between the Monroe Mustangs and the Harcum Bears. Here's the situation right now. 4-point game after that brilliant steal, translating into a fast break basket for Jordan Sanders. It is now firmly a 2-possession game for the Mustangs. Inbounded here to Mejia. 7 fouls apiece for both teams. Any foul, would, because we're in the bonus, would be risky right now. Now 1 minute remaining in this contest. Quin Fong Pong, mid-range jumper, and he sinks it! What a play for Quin Fong Pong for the freshman from Queens. Step back 3, and fouled. And Eric Mejia gonna get called for that one. The shot missed. That's gonna be 3 free throws for Basil Laster. And the fouling out of the contest is Eric Mejia, and the fans are unhappy about that one. But we got a good substitute coming in Fakir Mosley. And so it'll be 3 shots for Laster. Right now it's 73-67. If he makes all 3, it would be a 3-point game. And you can hear the fans behind me getting real rowdy. They'll get as loud as they can for this one, and the acoustics are echoing all over the place. Miss on the first shot. That is going to be bad, because now it'll still be a 2-possession game no matter what, at the very least, with 50 seconds to go. Almost putting putting Harcum in a situation where they would have to foul. Laster, second shot is good. He has one more. At 68-73, 5-point game. Chance to put it at 4. And second shot is good. It's still a 2-possession game. That's the important aspect of this for the Mustangs. And it's going to be a full press being played by Harcum, trying to force a mistake or a takeaway by the Mustangs. Inbounded here to Fong. And back to Mosley. Mosley trying to get to Williams. Williams almost loses the handle on it, and they're going to call for the jump ball. And timeout called by the Mustangs right as Williams was recovering it and try to get a little too fancy with it. And it'll be a full timeout with 43.5 seconds remaining for the Mustangs. Trying to look at how we got here right now. Harcum's shooting has absolutely collapsed, 39% shooting, whereas the Monroe's shooting has increased. They were 41% shooting at the half, and now their overall field goal percentage, 46.7. Although Harcum, the big thing that's kept them at this point, 10 three-pointers made, 6 for Monroe. And the free throws, well, they missed in that last one, missing that last one. 72% on free throws for Harcum, 55% for Monroe. And the other story here is rebounds almost dead even, 34-33. But turnovers has been a big problem in the second half for Harcum. 16 turnovers. 11 for the Mustangs. And points off turnovers, though, has been big for Monroe. 20 points off turnovers, only 12 for Harcum, so they've taken a bigger advantage on it. And also 8 steals and 7 second chance points. We're at 28 personal fouls collectively in this contest. Ball inbounded here to Sanders. They'll involve double teaming here, trying to make sure they can't get comfortable. My time on the shot clock. Potentially could go foul here for Keir Mosley. 4-point game. Harcum looking for a big stop if they can get it. Mosley fights through. Sanders from 3, and he sinks it! Oh my goodness! What a shot! With 24 seconds remaining, Sanders may have just thrown the dagger. Dunk attempt doesn't go through for Dorian Nick Jones, but he does get the foul off of Trey Washington. 76-69. That'll be the 4th for Trey Washington. So 2 shots coming up here for Dorian Nick Jones. Holy mother of God. We've had a bit of everything in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Dorian Nick Jones at the free throw line makes the first. Banging on the trash cans up top, too. And second shot is a miss. Rebounded by Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams bounding down the court. Players grab him, and that's going to be a foul. With 12.4. That might have done it. But got to make the free throws here and try and put this team to bed. That's 2, and make it beyond a. If he can make even one of these free throws, it'll be beyond it. It'll be turned into a 3-possession game. And substituting back in here now, Adamar Villar Santos. And he'll replace Cyril Busogi. So 2 shots coming up here for Ryan Williams. So after losing to Harcum badly in the regular season, Monroe learning lessons from it, and also adjustments after a tough first half, and now managing to battle back. And first free throw is good for Ryan Williams. Puts him at 11 points. Chance to go to 12 here and make it an 8-point game. Doesn't make the shot. Recovered, 10 seconds to go. Here comes De Oliveira Santos. Gets it to Dorian Nick Jones. Trying to go for a shot to Basile Laster. 2 seconds. Doesn't go through, and that will do it. The Mustangs have done it. The Mustangs have done it. The Mustangs are your NCAA East District Tournament champions. And they are going to the national tournament in the March Madness on the 22nd. Oh, and that was a hard-fought game. Mustangs had to dig deep for this one and managed to pull through after struggling in that first half, flipped the script, and put in a masterful second half, outscoring the Bears 44-28. All credit due to where it's due to a lot of the players made this possible, such as Mejia, Mosley, Sanders, and Hassan Washington really came alive there at the end. Jordan Sanders ending with 24 points with having himself a day. That's something we're going to be talking about for quite some time. And the ceremonial layups here being done by this team, and they're all celebrating. And now they're going to be coming up and do the ceremonial cutting of the netting. Well, folks, that was a it's been a wild ride, folks. Since coming on board, I've called a few games for Monroe. It's from their dramatic, starting with their dramatic final home game. And between football, women's basketball, and men's basketball, it's a treat. I fully enjoy being on the call with the Mustangs from coming over from my usual home with the Manhattanville Valiants. And a lot of celebration down on the inside. And with that, folks, we're going to conclude our some celebration down below. And there's the trophy for the district championship being held up high by Ryan Williams as these guys punch their ticket. And with that, folks, we're going to get ready for our post-game interview. I'm Ben Smith saying so long and good night to all of you at home. And thank you for tuning in all season to your Monroe Mustangs, your 2025 NCJAA East District Tournament champions. Be sure to keep an eye online for post-game interviews on social media, as well as information for seeding for the national tournament. Thank you, folks. Ben Smith. Big thanks to Joe Latano for giving me these opportunities. Good night, folks.